Puerto Rico, earthquake. A colossal magnitude 6.3 strikes north of the coast of Puerto Rico. Thank goodness it was not on land. 63 kilometers north. It was felt by about 700 people who reported it. This, of course, is before the we had aftershocks. We also had a tremendous amount of foreshocks, and the aftershocks are quite big. Let's take a look at them together. Berkeley, I like this map because the points go up pretty fast. This is the world map, basically, okay? And we just had a big one here, 5.7 in Greece. But this thing here shows a lot of activity. The blue are today, and the red are the past hour. Some of these just turned blue now, but because the hour has passed. But let's go into Puerto Rico, and you can see the tremendous amount of activity we've had here this past week. These are the past week. Okay, and this is what's happening here in Puerto Rico. This is the big one, the 6, and we you can see a tremendous amount of activity of foreshocks and the aftershocks. So they're still reeling from this. Obviously, that was so big that they're expected to have big aftershocks. They downgraded it to magnitude 6 from USGS. Others say 6.3. Over 700. Oh, this was when I was just starting this video, it was like 680. So now it's up to 749 people reporting feeling it. It was off the north coast of Puerto Rico, 62 kilometers northwest, northwest. Okay, thank goodness it wasn't on land. No tsunami warning. No tsunami, but they're really hopping there. The regional information for Puerto Rico. Let's take a look at the population, the aerial and population. Okay, this is it. As you can see, this is Puerto Rico right there. And it's pretty shaking. It's shaking. Okay, wait a minute. Sorry. And population density. It's quite dense, as you can see. And tectonic plates. We have a line right here. Okay, let's pull out a little bit. Can you see the red line? That's it right there. Let's pull out a little bit more. I mean, basically the shape of the... Okay. Look at that. Okay, that's the Atlantic Trench. And it basically, let me see, I'm sorry, it was, yeah, basically it heads into the area of the San Andreas Fault. Okay. All these are interconnected because they're plates, as we can see. San Andreas. And let's go back so we can read the tectonic summary. Extensive diversity, complexity of tectonic regime characteristics. The perimeter of Caribbean plate involving no fewer than 4 major plates: North American, South American, Nazca, and the Caucasus. Inclined zones of deep earthquakes, ocean trenches, arcs of volcanoes clearly indicate subduction of oceanic lithosphere along the Central American Atlantic Ocean margins of the Caribbean plate, while crustal seismicity in Guatemala, northern Venezuela, and Cayman Ridge, Cayman Trench indicate transform fault and pull apart basin tectonics. That's it right there. Along the northern margin of the Caribbean plate, North American plate moves west with respect to the Caribbean plate at a velocity of about 20 millimeters per year. Motion is accommodated along several major transform faults extending eastward from Isla de Roatan to Haiti, including the Swan Island Fault and the Orient Fault. Faults represent the southern and northern boundaries of the Cayman Trench, and further east from the Dominican Republic to the island of Barbuda. Relative motion between North American plate and the Caribbean plate becomes increasingly complex and is partly accommodated by nearly arc-parallel subduction of North American plate under the Caribbean plate. So we have the Pacific plate going under the North American plate, and then you have the North American plate going under the Caribbean plate. This results in the formation of deep Puerto Rican trench and a zone of intermediate focus earthquakes within the subducted slab. Although the Puerto Rican subduction zone is thought to be capable of generating a megathrust earthquake, there have been no such quakes in the past century. The last probable interplate thrust fault event here occurred May 2nd, 1787, was widely felt throughout the island with documented destruction across the entire northern coast, including Arecibo and San Juan. Since 1900, the two largest earthquakes to occur were August 4th, 1948 of magnitude 8, Samana earthquake in Northeast Hispaniola, July 29, 1943, magnitude 7.6. So you get the idea of what's happening there. Let's see here. Moving east to south, plate boundary curves around Puerto Rico and the northern Lesser Antilles, where the plate motion vector of the Caribbean plate relative to North and South America plates is less oblique. All right, let's go now to what's happening there. This is okay. We have the Haiti, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico. All right. And then we have Nassau, Bahamas, and that's Miami. It's not that far off when you think of it. Now, the Puerto Rico earthquake, 6.3, foreshocks and aftershocks. And as they're getting ready for another tropical storm that could develop into a hurricane, it struck at about 6 miles depth, about 50 miles from the island's north coast. There have been no initial tsunami warnings. The earthquake struck around 11:24 p.m. local time. Residents on the island reported, of course, objects in the house moving, falling. As we said, over 750 have up to now reported feeling it. National Weather Service in San Juan also tweeted a statement addressing the quake. They said, "An earthquake with a preliminary magnitude of 6.3 occurred 44 miles north of Puerto Rico at 11:24 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time. No tsunami threat exists for Puerto Rico and the United States Virgin Islands." News of the earthquake comes as the island is preparing to be hit by another tropical storm, which could potentially turn out to be another hurricane. Tropical storm Karen expected to hit the island, causing flash floods warnings to be issued, and the storm was due to approach the island today, Tuesday. It's still unsure how much damage it will inflict on Puerto Rico. Residents here braced to be hit by Hurricane Dorian last month, but only experienced light damage, thank goodness. Now, this tropical storm only caused some flooding and power outages on the island as it headed towards U.S. mainland, this is according to Express UK Bill McLaughlin. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help
the young generation with university tuition, and the community around our church. Thank you.